You're listening to Opening the Harp Chakra, the podcast, bringing you beautiful, healing, magical harp music and talking to the artists that create it. I'm your host, Jay Michaels. Today I'm very happy to be traveling to Poland to speak with a wonderful and very talented singer and harp player who plays the wire-strung harp. Her name is Barbara Karlik from Poland. Hi, Barbara. Welcome to Opening the Harp Chakra, the podcast.
Hi, hello. I'm very happy to be here.
So, Barbara, let me ask you, what led you to the harp?
I like to joke that I might have been a harp in my past life, but it was quite a chance that I got to play the harp because when I was a child, I dreamed about playing tiny harps even when I didn't know they existed. And I wouldn't even ask my parents if I could play the harp because the instrument is too expensive. And I tried guitar, but it just didn't stick. And when I was about 16, I started singing in a Celtic folk band called Old Land. And that's when I started searching the web for harps. And I found out that there are not only smaller harps than the concert harp, but that harps can have wire strings. And because I always prefer the sound of wire over the sound of nylon, I thought, okay, I want a harp with wire strings. But then I learned about the history of the harp itself and that the Irish harp that used to be played historically in Ireland had wire strings and now is almost forgotten. And that's when I said, I have to have this harp. And I got my first harp in 2001. It was a Limerick lap harp kit with C wire. And I got Anne Hayman's Gaelic Harpers First Tunes book. And that was my start. I had to teach myself because nobody in Poland played that harp at the time. Mm-hmm. And in 2004, I started going to Ireland. I met the people at the Historical Harp Society of Ireland and started going to School na Gláirse. So that's when I got hooked on the science historical part.
Do you play wire-strung harp exclusively?
I play exclusively wire harp, although I did have possibilities to kind of give a concert harp a go. I played just a couple tunes on the modern Irish harp with nylon strings. At the harp school, I could play a Gothic bray harp, which was loads of fun, and also a triple harp. So I did give a lot of harps a go, but my heart is firmly set on the wire harp. And I also play with the historical technique with the harp on my left shoulder and with the harp with the hand position for wire strings and with long fingernails. So that doesn't really work well, for instance, for a concert harp or for a triple harp, which is built for playing in right shoulder.
So I'm familiar with two terms very much, harper and harpist, and we're often asked to explain the difference. But I would like to ask you to explain the difference and add in a third that I've just discovered since meeting you, the term harpress.
Yes, so it is quite a modern division because the terms harpist and harper were used quite interchangeably in the historical sources. And I imagine that harpist was used mostly to the people from the continent playing the continental instruments and harper to their domestic harpers. But in modern times, harpist is used for players playing the classical harp, and harper is used for players playing the folk harp And I use the term harpress, which is taken from a letter to, I think, Edward Bunting, somewhere late 18th century. And it says about Rose Mooney that she was a harpress. And I really like the sound of the word. It sounds like empress. Poland doesn't have a harp tradition per se, as in, of course, we had the continental harp, the Gothic harps, and then the pedal harps in Poland. But what I did learn is that there was actually a harp player, at least an Irish harper, that was supposed to be employed by the Polish court. So there was a guy called Donahue Kane or Donatus O'Kane, I think. And there is a letter to recruit him from the London court. So I don't know if he got here and if he got to play at the Polish court, but I like to think he did.
We'd like to share some of the music of Barbara Karlik now. Barbara, would you like to introduce the first piece that you brought with you?
Yes, the first piece is Sílan Honlan, is by Thomas Conlan, or attributed to him, a harper composer that lived in the 17th century, if I recall correctly. And it's a tune that he wrote for his sister's Sheila's wedding.
So, Barbara, could you tell us a little bit more, perhaps go into detail about the three strands of Irish music?
Yes, that's something that really fascinates me, is the folklore and the tradition that surrounds the harp that I play. And so the the three strands of the Irish music are called Giltra, Gyantra, and Swantra. And Giltra is the music of sadness, Gyantra is the music of happiness, of play, and Swantra is the music of sleep. And so I like to think also that they can be really incredible. As in, I have a whole CD of lullabies of music for sleep, as in Swantre, and I think it's very healing, as in lullabies really help people to heal themselves when they listen to them, but mostly when they sing them. Because I don't know if you've met people like that, but when I sing, a lot of people come over to me and say, oh, I wish I could sing, but I don't have the voice, or I can't really hear music. I shouldn't be singing. Whenever I start singing, people tell me, just don't. And that really breaks my heart, because I think that singing is something that we need, that is important for the soul. And so lullabies are a part of our tradition that we get handed over from our parents, I think, most often. And when there's a child born in a family, the parents, they don't think, oh my gosh, my child thinks I'll be out of tune when I sing. No, they sing lullabies to their children, and the children respond to those lullabies. And it's a very healing experience for the parents and the children as well, I think.
All right, so let's feature another piece of music, Barbara. If you would introduce it for us.
So the next tune is from my Swantra CD that I mentioned, and it's Kołysanka Boga Lira, or Lear's lullaby to his horses. So Lear was an Irish god of the sea, and his horses are the waves. And here I have two guest artists as well, Marta Obrempalska on the flute and Dorota Żak on the fiddle.
Grzywami splątanymi brnęły aż po brzeg, a on swą pieśnią schylał je do snu i głosem swym spowalniał koni szalony bieg. Wzburzone sztormem konie dęba stają i rżą. W galopie pełnym mkną po horyzontu kres. Lecz w noc jak ta kołysze je ocean lir i w tafle wody konie zanurzają się. uspokojone po dniu ciężkim kładły senne grzbiety. A on swą pieśnią schylał je do snu. I patrzył, jak sen wkrada koniom pod powieki. Niech zasną konie, lira pieśnią uspokojone. Kołyszą się łagodnie w lekkim śnie. Niech już ucichnie stukot kopyt umęczonych. W księżyca blasku na fali srebrnych lśnień.
That's one that I wrote myself. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well
on
done.
my own.
Do you have a favorite harp player, someone that influences you, someone you like to emulate, perhaps?
Just like with everything else, I can't just say play like one favorite. It's just what, like with the harp, some people say you should either play or sing, and I just can't. I have to play and sing at the same time because that's a thing that I do. So out of the players that I really admire, I think Anne Heyman would be one of the most prominent, and Siobhan Armstrong with her absolutely sweet and wonderful playing. Roisin Safdie is a wonderful singer that works with the harpers as well. And yeah, I just realized I've veered off harp players. But I thought about Eilish O'Riordan, who's an Irish singer who started playing the harp a couple of years back, and she sings with her harp, and it's just amazing to hear.
I think we have time for one more piece of music. What do you have for us?
So the next tune is something I wrote in English this time, and it's called Safe, and it's a dragon endearment song, and sometimes I think it might be a bit menacing because the dragon welcomes the person to their horde. I think it's a dragon that just hoards humans instead of other treasures. And she will keep their human safe, that's for sure. But I don't know what happens if the person wants to go away.
I know that you have traveled far. You fought the demons on your way. Now you come here, I let you in and bid you by the fire stay. I give you tea, I take your sword. Now that the darkness is all around, let me hold your tired body. You are safe and sound. Whatever evil thoughts and deeds you've witnessed while you traveled here, I promise you that there's still hope, and it's the light that draws us near. I take your hand, I kiss your lips. You look at me as if spellbound. Let me soothe your crying heart. You are safe and sound, and in your eyes I see you've heard words crueler than just sticks and stones. You think you have to shrug them off, but truth is they cut to the bone. I gaze into your fearful eyes like you don't want it to be found. Let me calm your racing mind. You are safe and sound, and all these fights, these deeds and words were not the hardest of ordeals. It was the helplessness that made you wander off into my realm. And now I've took you in my heart, a dragon's heart filled with love profound. Let me mend your broken soul. You are safe and sound. You are safe and sound.
So the harp that I play right now was made in 2006 by an instrument maker in Poland, Leszek Pelc, and it's a loosely based replica of the Queen Mary harp from Edinburgh, from Scotland, and it's strung with brass wire, silver wire, and gold wire. And so it's basically a historical harp. And I am having a harp made, a 17th century harp made right now in Portugal that will be a bigger, high-headed harp. Take a look at the pages at my webpage that has it all, or at specific parts of the internet that have me, so YouTube, Facebook, and Patreon, and of course my page. And you can listen to my music, you can download it, you can see the lyrics, and you can buy the CDs as well through the internet.
You can find out more about Barbara Karlik and her music from her website. All that information is listed in the show notes for today's podcast. Also, there's a Patreon page that you can follow. And if you'd like to sponsor this podcast or learn more about it, or if you have suggestions, please feel free to email me at openingtheharpchakra@yahoo.com. Please subscribe to this podcast as well. We appreciate it. In the coming weeks, more wonderful harp music from all around the world here at Opening the Harp Chakra, the podcast. I'm Jay Michaels. Thank you so very much for being here. I do appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again very soon. Peace. Namaste.